What a game of football. Man City 3, Real Madrid 3 at the Bernabeu. Oh, it's absolutely crazy. We've seen 10 goals between Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Man City. By far the 4 best sides in the tournament. I'm sorry about PSG and Barcelona, Atletico, Dortmund. I don't really care about. I think the winners of the Champions League are out of these 4, in my opinion. And what we saw against Real Madrid and Man City are a side that Real Madrid believe. Real Madrid have got the quality to get back in the game, especially at the Bernabeu. You always expect that no matter how bad or how different or how transitional Real Madrid side are, at the Bernabeu, you cannot count them out against anyone. I'm sorry. And Man City put them in a real difficult position. We're going to talk about all the goals. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below if you agree with my assessment of the game, because it was so interesting. As a City fan, I've seen so many interesting games between us and Real Madrid. There are a few in COVID where we beat them. We beat them at the Bernabeu just before COVID locked things down. De Bruyne scored in front of his ex-girlfriend who's then dating Courtois. 1-1 last season, De Bruyne with an unbelievable strike. And then we smashed them 4-0 at the Etihad. It's set up perfectly for us to do something hopefully similar at the Etihad. The record at home is incredible. Will be far more controlled on the ball, in my opinion. That was what let us down today, in my opinion, with just moments of when you feed into the Real Madrid hype, when you feed into these Galactico players, these big names that are world class through and through. They're the second best side in European football behind Man City, arguably first, and City comes second. It's that close. But if you feed into the narrative where you give these players enough space, like Rodrigo, like Vinicius today, like Valverde on the edge of the box, then you're always going to let Real Madrid in and score big goals. It reminds me a little bit of when they, in Grealish's first season, he misses that chance and Benzema and Rodrigo scored these goals against us to knock City out of the Champions League, and Real Madrid went on to win it. So this narrative between Real Madrid and Man City has been going on now for a couple of years. And this game felt less controlled than it did last year. It felt more feeding into the Real Madrid machine. But despite all that, we've not come away with a loss. Despite all that, it's it's a 0-0. So basically on aggregate, it's a nothing. There's no margin of error really. So let's talk about the goals. If you're new to the channel, again, make sure you subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Bernardo Silva does a Fabio Aurelio and catches the keeper out. I don't know if that was on the same side of the pitch, but it feels reminiscent. But Bernardo Silva, we've never seen him do that as City fans, and he just always got something magical in the locker. He's hit the ball really, really well, and he's surprised Lunin. I think City were told in this game to really have a go at Lunin. Obviously, has replaced Kepa, which says everything you need to know about Kepa, the most expensive keeper in the history of football. And from 1-0, I really thought City would be boring. I thought City would go to some sort of, real control and try and make it 2, maybe leave at 1-0. I know it's easier said than done, but how open it was concerning as a City fan, defensively, because we've conceded a few goals. Conceded a couple to Palace last week, and obviously, haven't been able to, lots of draws for City this season against big opposition. Obviously, as deflected effort, Ruben Diaz own goal comes off, Camavinga strike. So lucky. Kovacic doesn't do his work defensively. That's what you get with Kovacic. He's a passenger off the ball. On the ball, he's decent. He keeps it ticking, but off the ball, he's a real passenger, just like Jorginho maybe. With I think he's been fantastic, Jorginho, but very similar players that they don't offer anything physically off the ball. He should be closing down Camavinga a lot better, in my opinion. Rodrigo makes it 2-1. At that point, I thought, wow, this could be a turning point. It could be a real issue for City to be 2-1 down to Real Madrid, because they could go on and win 3-1. They certainly had chances, but Rodrigo beats Akanji. The lack of Kyle Walker, who will be a huge gain if we can get back at the Etihad. The pace of Rodrigo, the little finish that is kind of a bit of a nutmeg on Ortega, kind of bounces off Akanji. Rodrigo is absolutely superb tonight, and he doesn't always get the plaudits. Usually it's Vinicius, but Rodrigo absolutely fantastic tonight, absolutely electric. And then we have to talk about Phil Foden. I've not celebrated a goal like that all season. It was out of this world. It was out of this world, and I got slated for calling him Glenn Hoddle on Sky Sports. I got slated for calling him Wayne Rooney. Now, obviously, you can debate the credentials of some of these great players, but in terms of just raw talent to come out of this country, He's right up there. He's top 5, top 10. Obviously got Sir Bobby Charlton, David Beckham, and all these players, Paul Gascoigne. But he's Kevin Keegan. But he's right up there with all of them. And he'll be winning Ballon d'Ors at this rate. That goal, it wasn't just hit and hope. It was control the ball, drive, tuck in, and hit it roof of the net, right in the corner. It was out of this world. It was out of this world. It was world class. It really was. And then City make it 3-2. I'm living in dreamland because a 3-2 win, I think, takes us through. So I think you could even do a 0-0 at the Etihad and keep it boring like the Arsenal game maybe, and keep it very, very limited and push Real Madrid back and contain them with the ball. And a 3-2 win, a Gvardiol, on my life today, I thought Gvardiol is due a big moment. Gvardiol's due a moment where he stands out. Maybe I was thinking more, maybe even a big challenge or a big moment where you think he's finally arrived, because he's not playing for no joke reason. He's playing because he's been absolutely superb, in my opinion. Now, he's underrated. He doesn't get the plaudits, and people say, what's he actually done? It's not always about that. But honestly, when you look at him, he doesn't put a foot wrong. He's as physical and as big as anyone. He's got pace, he's got power. He'll be a centre-back long-term, in my opinion. But at left-back, he's been superb. Tucks in on his right foot, his weak foot, and he bends it around the keeper. Absolutely superb. Hats off to Gvardiol. His best game in a City shirt by country mile. It was never him getting burnt. It was Akanji. I really think he limited the Real Madrid right-hand side of their attack. And then we have to talk about Federico Valverde, who's had superb games against City in the last couple of years, particularly when they knocked us out. I think was standout performance from him. The volley was incredible, and it really alluded to a game that is just pure cinema. These games should be finals. I know it's all luck of the draw, and there shouldn't be any more control in football, and fair enough. But there is this aspect to these games where you think it's such a shame this isn't at Wembley, because it deserves to be a final for the fans. A quarter final, on some level, whoever wins this game could be deciding of the whole Champions League. And it has felt that way for a couple of years. It felt that way when they knocked us out, when we smashed them last season. So, yeah, in that regard, it feels early. What a game of football. Absolutely huge. Am I gutted we didn't get 3 points with the win? Yeah, a little bit, because I think 3-2 with 10 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, I think you want to see a little bit more control. City have got Kyle Walker to come back. City have got, hopefully, De Bruyne to be fully fit in the game. And from that standpoint, it's very, very exciting, because it could be another Champions League semi-final, another Champions League final potentially on the horizon. Obviously, Real Madrid have got quality, but I didn't see enough of Jude Bellingham today, in my opinion. Didn't see enough of Toni Kroos, who cowered away for the Phil Foden goal. Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., so powerful, so pacey, so dangerous. But those were the two players, Tchouaméni, Carvajal, look a little bit run ragged, in my opinion. Rudiger as well. So I think the back line, you can definitely get this Real Madrid side. Man City will not be afraid of based on what happened last season as well, the 4-0. And all in all, very, very exciting times. If you're a City fan, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very, very soon.